Halt! You are approaching the gates of Vernworth, capital of Vermund. None may pass without the proper documents. If you've an entry permit, an invitation, or proof of citizenship, present it now. I see. So you are to meet with Captain Brandt. I shan't impede you then. Come with me.
I was informed of your coming would be arisen.
Captain Brandt, you should know that this individual fought valiantly to defend the troops. The Watchhead told me himself.
As decreed by the great will of our world, there can only be one Arisen. That Arisen now resides within the palace. Indeed, he is our sovereign and the rightful ruler of Vermund. It follows, therefore, that this ruffian before us is naught but a pretender. You must submit to questioning. If you value your life, you will not attempt to flee. I shall conduct the interrogation myself. Stand watch outside. I beg your forgiveness for my insolence, Your Majesty. If the Queen Regent had learned of your existence, I fear your life would have been in peril. I had no choice but to treat you as a pretender, lest my actions draw suspicion from watchful eyes. Then you have truly lost your memory? In that case, mayhap I ought to explain the situation before we proceed. You, and no other, are the Sovereign, the only legitimate ruler of this kingdom. Some days past, you confronted the dragon in the village of Melv, whereupon you became Arisen. The people rejoiced, for our true liege had finally appeared, and in Vermund's long years of council rule. Yet, not all celebrated your coming. Your arrival would have robbed the Queen Regent Disa of everything. During the time of the previous council, she acted as a queen in her own right, ruling the palace as she saw fit. And just after the council's passing, when 'twas all but certain that her son would take his father's place, word reached the castle that the Arisen had been found. To Disa, Your Majesty's very existence is naught but an obstacle to her own family's continued prosperity. The assassination of the Arisen is an impossible feat for mortal hands. Thus, Disa chose to abduct Your Majesty while you recovered from your wounds, in order to rob you of your memory with a fell curse and sell you to Batal as a slave. Following that, she prepared a replacement to serve as the Sovereign in your stead, a mere puppet. However, with Your Majesty returned, I have no intention of twiddling my thumbs as Disa plays her games. I shall devise some plans to further our cause. Pray, visit me a night in the tavern that we might discuss them. This one's cleared of all suspicion and has my permission to remain in the capital. You are to trouble the good sir no further. Are we clear?
Wait for the new equipment to come in.
I lament my decision to involve my subordinates.
Pray forgive me, I'm in a bit of a hurry.
Consign it! Get back here! You there! Did you see an urchin in a cap run past just now? Can you tell me which way he went? Thought you could hide, eh? Oi! Halt!
Good to see you, Master.
An ox cart ought to make our journey easier.
They can be most convenient, though they only travel during the day.
There's a ladder here.
Perhaps new discoveries await us above.
How might I liven up our time-worn routine?
There's got to be a way to earn more points than this.
Time, this place.
I've heard.
Your Majesty, your timing is impeccable. I just thought to call for you. 'Tis not a matter for prying ears. Pray, let us speak out here.
Fancy a gander? Fine wares
Tad round it. I shan't complain.
As I informed you when last we spoke, the palace is filled with the Queen Regent's sycophants. Should Disa denounce your Majesty as a false arisen, few would elect to doubt her. Yet if we are to prove your identity, I believe there is no occasion more suitable than the coronation. It was delayed so that the sovereign, that is, the false arisen, could convalesce in the palace, but the date has now been set. The central players in the court ought all be in attendance. It would be a fine opportunity to display your Majesty's power. None would be able to deny that you are the true arisen then. There is a problem, however. Entry to such an event is limited to the chosen few. Only select members of the nobility and citizens who have contributed greatly to Vermont's continued prosperity will be granted entry. If your Majesty is to be counted among them, you will need to attend to a number of tasks. Pray, allow me to summarize them for you. The citizenry have called upon my soldiers to cull monsters that plague the land. I dare say, 'twould be a fine contribution were you to accomplish these tasks unaided. What say you? Might I ask for your cooperation in this matter? I thank you, Your Majesty. There are 3 locales that have seen significant trouble of late. The first is Trevo Mine, to the northwest. We've had reports of goblins swarming in great numbers. Next is Half Village, west of Vernworth. I believe soldiers have already been dispatched to cull an infestation of saurians there. Finally, there is a call for someone to locate a group of soldiers tasked with delivering freight. They were last seen crossing the second bridge on the eastern edge of Vermont.
We have been charged with the felling of monsters.
I can scarce...
There is much we ought to tend to, if we are to strengthen your Majesty's claim as a true arisen. Do not forget that we work to serve the citizenry.
Trevo Mine is but a stone's throw from here.
Then follow me. I'll lead the way.
Uh-huh. There's something written here.
Shall we take a closer look?
I only polished it this morning. Try all I might. I can't get the salt off my skin.
I could use a bit of peace and quiet.
Pray, follow me. This way, Master!
Words fail to capture the awe I feel standing atop this bridge.
It must be very old.